What's up? Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, Action Packed. I'm bringing back the What's Up again. I love that, and I used to do it all the time in some of my better videos on my last channel. I did it a lot. A lot of you guys liked it, and some of you guys didn't, but you know what? Who cares? I'm bringing it back. So getting into what today's video is about is basically yesterday I was watching this James C. Burns or Sergeant Frank Woods YouTube video yesterday. And if you aren't subscribed to Sergeant Frank Woods' YouTube channel yet, I will have a link in the description below for you to go check it out. But basically, he's working for Treyarch. He's a voice actor for Treyarch. He is James C. No, that's his actual name. He's Sergeant Frank Woods in Black Ops 1, and he's also going to be Old Man Woods in Black Ops 2. And I'm pretty sure you get to play him in the good old days where he was just, young, active in the, I think it's the Strike Force missions. So this video of his that I watched was called The Zombies Trailer Analysis, The Finer Details. And why they call it The Finer Details is because there's some things throughout that Zombies trailer that are actually pretty hidden that people didn't notice. And it's pretty small, and it's only there for like a frame or two, so a lot of people didn't catch it, including myself. So throughout this video, I'm just going to give you guys a summary of his video and some important things from his video. I'll just discuss that in here, give my thoughts about it, and then hopefully after this video, you guys will decide to leave a comment down below telling me what you guys think. Now, right before I start the summary of his video in this one, before he even mentions anything in his video, he says that Treyarch has given him some details, and a lot of details, but he cannot share them with us. So what he does is he basically kind of guides us to the edge of those details and then lets us jump from there. So we kind of have to assume the rest of what he says. And I will tell you exactly what he says in quote, and then after that I'll just assume something or tell you guys my thoughts. And then, like I said, tell me what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below, so maybe if someone's thoughts sound a little better, I'll add an annotation and give you credit for it. So from there, the next two things he mentions is at the beginning of the trailer, the bus pulls into the bus station and whatnot, and then it sounds a horn. Now, he says to both of these, he says the bus and the horn sound have really good significance to the game itself. Now, I assume the bus is, what we already know. You're going to have to hop on the bus, go around the map, and that's what I think. That's what I think the relevance means, and he hasn't said exactly, what the relevance is. And we already know from the developers themselves, from interviews, and they've told us this, hey, you're going to ride this bus all around the map. So I don't know if he's referring to something else or what. And then he talks about, this horn that sounds within the trailer, and it says at the bottom of the screen, this is called an audio clue. So basically, he's just kind of guiding us towards, okay, this horn means something. Now, I'm assuming every time the bus goes to a stop and you're somewhere along the map, you'll hear this horn, and that's when you'll know the bus is there to pick you up. Because remember, guys, this map is going to be huge. In every single area, there's 5 areas that we know of at this moment, and each one of those locations have a bus stop. Now, since the map is pretty big, and I would assume that each portion is pretty big as well, since they are going to divide each portion of the map into different maps and then put that into the survival mode, like our classic mode that we're used to getting. So just imagine the size of, say, Ascension. That is going to be only one portion of the transit map right there. I'm not saying it's going to be in there. This is just an example. But say, you're anywhere on this map and only on one side is where the bus stop is at. You're not going to be able to tell when the bus stop actually stops there unless you hear something and there's some audio going throughout the map, like a huge horn going off or a siren. But this horn, I'm assuming, is going to sound throughout that portion of the map so that you can hear and know that, hey, if you want to ride the bus, you better get your butt over there ASAP. Now, this is something we already know, but he mentions after that last statement of mine, he mentions that the zombies are wearing straitjackets. That's something we already know. But something really interesting is that he doesn't say is right at the bottom of the screen. It's mentioned that the zombies with the straitjackets on have similar bloodstains on the back of them, which is very interesting, and I have no idea what this could mean. So he continues to talk about the zombies' clothing, and then he points out that behind the straitjacket zombie, there's a zombie wearing a hospital gown or whatever you'd like to call it, hospital clothing. He just points out that that specific zombie is on fire. Now, I can't really think of anything else why he would say that if maybe this kind of zombie, the ones that are wearing this hospital gown, are the zombies that will catch on fire. Now, like I said in my breakdown video, look around for this kind of zombie that's going to catch on fire. Because, think about it. Killing zombies at a certain round is going to be hard enough. Say, if you're playing to round 50. Round 50, they start getting pretty hard. Killing zombies, it's tough. But think about a flaming zombie. That's going to be even harder, because if they're getting close to you, think about it. A zombie could hit you, it can bite you. Well, I mean, they don't bite you in Call of Duty, but I mean, just think about it. I forget what I just said there. But basically, in the terms of Call of Duty zombies, they're close enough to hit you, and in this case, if they're on fire, they're close enough to burn you as well. So they could probably inflict more damage on you. That's what I'm assuming, at least, and that's my thoughts, my ideas only. Alright, so another thing he mentions at the time of the bus pulling up and then the doors open, he says that the character that's in front is the lady character, and that character is going to probably get off the bus first, I assume. At least that's what we see from the actual trailer. She's in front and she's about to get off. Now, he says that when these doors open, that's when the game starts. Then he begins to say when the bus doors close, something else happens. Now, this could mean a couple of things, actually. Now, you see the characters on the bus, well, at least the lady character, you see her on the bus when the doors open. So in my mind, when he says when the doors close, something else happens. And the game apparently starts when the doors open. So it might happen like this. When you actually start up the game, the characters will be in the bus, driving up to the bus stop, and then the doors open, and then you have the option to walk off. Now, that's when he says the game actually starts, and then the intro is probably when you're just, on the bus riding there. But my idea is that, once you get to the stop, you're going to have the option to either get off or stay on. And if you stay on, I'm assuming maybe after, 15, 30 seconds, the doors will close. And maybe you have to defend yourself from the bus, and maybe the zombies start running at you, and then it goes to the next bus stop. This next thing I think is really cool, because in my breakdown, I actually mentioned this. I'm like, yeah, this guy's got to be an engineer. He looks geeky, and, when Treyarch does something, they try to give you the feel of what their personality's like and what they're all about. And my thoughts were, this guy is smart. He's intelligent. He's probably some sort of engineer. And what James C. Byrne said in his video is this guy's a scientist. He's an engineer. And that's exactly what he said. Scientist, engineer. This guy is smart. He's not like, like a nerdy geek. He's like, he's one of those smart geeks. He knows what he's doing. This is a smart, intelligent fella. After that, he mentions that in a game where you're building weapons, which you guys should know this from watching my videos, there's going to be buildables within Black Ops 2's transit map. And since you're going to be building these things, it would be a really good idea to have a guy who is smart enough to be able to figure out how to put these things together. So maybe we have to go to this character to actually build the weapons. And maybe if you're playing solo, you'll be that character. And what I'm saying there is, if you're playing co-op with 4 people, the guy who is playing this character, this scientist engineer guy, maybe you have to give all your parts to him, or maybe he's the only guy who can pick them up. Or maybe when you're at like a workbench putting all this stuff together, you actually have to have him there with you, and maybe, I don't know, something shows up on his screen that won't show up on yours that will actually give you info on how to put stuff together. Something very interesting he mentions in his video is that the bus driver, you do not want to piss this guy off. Now, what I'm getting from that is, hey, if you make this guy mad, if you accidentally shoot him, if you are late for the bus stops and you get on it or whatever, if you're late to get on the bus, basically, then he's going to get angry. Or he's going to get angry, like I said, if you shoot at him, if you knife him, if you just bother him, you're probably going to make him mad. He's probably going to turn around and attack you or something like that. And basically, he's going to become the new boss, is what I'm assuming. But, this can go different ways. Now, if he gets mad, maybe he just won't pick you up again, something like that. Here's something I can't believe I missed. Now, that dolly I talked about in previous videos that was like a little zombie bus delivery drop or whatever one of the days of last week? Well, basically, in the trailer, they actually showed it. When they're in the diner, they're actually like shooting around behind the counter, and to your right, it's actually illuminated, and it's right there in front of us. But before that zombies drop, we, didn't know that's what we should be looking for. But that's something I didn't cover, and I definitely wanted to point that out, that it was in the zombies trailer. I missed it. There it is. And then the interesting thing is that and the car door they show a little bit later are actually going to be able to be put together to make the riot shield. Now, this is just crazy. He says these aerosol cans next to that car door can actually be weaponized. Now, think of the flaming zombies. Now, these aerosol cans are actually, they have flammable stuff in it. It's in a car shop, so I'm assuming they're pretty flammable. If you throw that at one of those zombies, maybe it causes an it causes an explosion. Now that would be pretty sick. And maybe it's weaponized in other ways as well. Maybe you can help it, use it to its actual ability, what it's, supposed to be used for, helping you put stuff together. I don't know, use some WD-40 on that shotch and, make sure everything's working well. Maybe if something gets rusty in the game, maybe you can get it to keep moving or something. I don't think they're going to go that far with it, but, the possibility is there. Next in his video, he looks over to the right of the screen, and then you see these two toolboxes. Now, I think I might have mentioned something in my breakdown about this, not quite sure, but, you got this scientist engineer guy, you have things that you can put together, you have these workbenches, that's what we got so far, and now you got these toolboxes. Putting that all together, basically, you're going to be gathering things around the map to put them together. To put them together, you might be using that engineer scientist guy to, help you out, give you some intel possibly, and then you can actually use tools to put them together. So this is just making everything more complex and challenging, or maybe it's just not as challenging as we're thinking now. Maybe it's simpler somehow, but we just don't know. And maybe you have to find the right size wrench or something like that. It could be as complex as that. I don't think they would go that far, but maybe they just have, you go there to get a wrench or a screwdriver. You just need one item, basically fits all. Since it is a video game, I'm pretty sure they would make it that way. But I just think it's crazy how many variables are going to go into these buildables. I mean, you got to find all of these things around the map, and maybe you can actually use different variations of items to make different things. You know how you can get that dolly and that car door, put it together and make a ride shield? Maybe you can get the dolly and something else and then make something completely different. Or maybe you can get the car door and get something else and make something completely different. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Maybe there's just multiple variations that you can combine together to make even more items. Lastly, and the most important thing that he mentions at the very end is that this character that's supposedly an engineer, a scientist, this real smart, intelligent guy, he's wearing this special watch, which I did point out in my breakdown, just for the record. It's actually a calculator and a timer, and this is James C. Burns' words, is what I'm saying here. He says it's a timer and it's a calculator. So this guy being the guy you might have to go to build stuff, he's got a calculator on him. So that's our intel we might have to get from him. Maybe he can actually use a calculator within the game. Maybe you can press a certain button when you're this character, pull up your arm or your wrist or something, look at the calculator and punch in certain buttons to get certain calculations and certain measurements and stuff like that. Now maybe that's exactly what I was talking about earlier when you need to find certain measurements. Maybe that's how it will work. Or maybe I'm just thinking way too much about it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Another thing I'm thinking about is how this wristwatch is a timer. Now what this could mean is that how this bus is going to all these different stops and it sounds that horn when it possibly gets to each bus stop? Well, maybe that's a factor as well, but it could also be a timer. Maybe this timer goes off at a certain point and tells you, hey, get to the bus stop now, or hey, the bus stop's going to be here soon. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I definitely enjoyed doing it myself, and I hope you benefited from it as well. Now this is one of those videos that actually took me quite a bit amount of time to make, so I hope you guys did enjoy it. Hope you guys leave a like and a comment telling me what you guys think about this info. I am really excited to hear what you guys think, especially about all of this new info that I shared with you guys. Some of it's not that new, but some of it is pretty revealing and new. So I really want to see your guys' feedback. If you guys could give me a like as well, I'd very much appreciate it. I put some work into this, and you guys should know by now I only ask for likes when I really think I really deserve one. So please, if you could leave a like below, it'd make my day. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day or night. Giggity. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.